Hi, in version 2.3 of Honkai Star Rail, we'll be getting the long-awaited Kamen Rider Firefly. Firefly is looking to have a kit that combines many really unique features from other already existing units, to ultimately make a very cool kit that will be stunning in both visual and gameplay. In this video, I'll be going through everything in Firefly's kit, simplifying it and explaining how to use each part. Before we start, I'll be giving away 2 supply passes /welcome crystal cards to the subscribers at 5k subs, so make sure you subscribe to enter. But for those who can't wait for the giveaway, let me introduce you to Lootbar GG, where you can recharge your Oneiric shards and supply passes for up to 20% off. If you're gonna be topping up anyways, there's no reason not to use Lootbar to get everything for cheaper. Normally, I would not trust these type of services, so to test it out myself, I've topped out 3,880 Oneiric shards. But as you can see, it is $9 cheaper compared to in-game, and the order came in less than 15 minutes. It's all safe and secure as it only requires your UID and region. New users can also get an additional discount, so what are you waiting for? Go check it out now, link in the description. Let's start off by addressing the elephant in the room. Firefly's ultimate, Firefly Type 4 Complete Combustion. This causes Firefly to enter a complete combustion state. She will immediately get a turn, and during this state, she enhances her basic and skill. During this state, her speed, break efficiency, and the damage against weakness broken enemies are increased. Additionally, a countdown timer will appear on the action order. This countdown has a fixed speed of 90, and when it has a turn, complete combustion will end. I wonder where I've heard of this before. Anyways, if you couldn't already tell, this is a very similar ultimate to Robin. However, this time, it doesn't disable her turns, but in fact actually grants her a turn and empower attacks, which I will explain later. Basically, what this ultimate does is simply grant a turn while also gaining a bunch of buffs. Then after a couple of turns, she will lose those buffs. Overall, thanks to Robin's release, it's actually a very simple ultimate to use. Since you could optimize it and try to use the ult right after you had a turn without being in her ultimate state to fully utilize the action advance, but in reality, you can just use it whenever and it will be fine. As the speed increase and the fixed speed of the countdown really suggests not building that much speed, so trying to get a turn without her ultimate could sometimes be not worth it. Next up is her basic attacks, Order, Flare, Propulsion, and her enhanced basic attack, Firefly Type 4 Pyrogenic Decimation. Firefly's normal basic attack is well, a normal basic attack, but her enhanced basic now does a lot more damage and also heals her for 20% of her max HP. Her basic attacks are quite self-explanatory, with the key takeaway being her enhanced version healing herself, which will make more sense together with the next part of her kit. Now for Firefly's skills. Order, Aerial Bombardment, and her enhanced skill Firefly Type 4 Death Star Overload. The normal skill does single target damage and also regenerates her energy by 50%, while also reducing her HP by 50% of her max HP. The enhanced skill does blast damage depending on both your attack and break effect, with the break effect capping at 360%. Additionally, it also applies fire weakness to the enemy, and in contrast to a normal skill, this time she will heal by 35% of her max HP instead. A rather high risk, high reward skill she has. But before I explain it, can I just say, if the multipliers stay the same on release, her normal skill has a 250% scaling. That's more than Seely's skill, and that's not even her empower skill. Anyways, going back on topic, this skill is looking like quite a powerful attack. Essentially, it all works similar to Jinu's skill when, if not in her ultimate state, it's single target, and when in her ultimate state, it's blast, but this time it costs Firefly a seal point. The HP manipulation this time is pretty extreme, but thanks to her talent, it becomes a small price to pay for the damage you're doing. Other than that, the fire weakness application is really broken, and with the way the scaling works, it is actually recommended building hybrid on her rather than going full attack or full break effect. Moving on to Firefly's talent, Crystallite Power Nexus. This makes it so the lower the HP, the lower the damage taken. Up to 40% damage taken decrease when at 20% or lower HP. In addition, during complete combustion state, the damage reduction remains at maximum value and her effect rest is also increased. Also, when her energy is lower than 50% when the battle starts, set her energy to 50%, and when it reaches 100%, dispel all debuffs. A really defensive talent for a DPS unit, but taking in consideration of her skill's HP drain, we actually should be thankful this talent exists so a Firefly doesn't become a full glass cannon who a little breeze from the enemy could kill. But ultimately speaking, this will keep her alive, which also results in more damage in addition to free energy. So it all makes sense at the end of the day. Then we have Firefly's technique, Delta Order Meteoric Incineration. She leaps into the air and comes plunging down, attacking all enemies in a set area. At the start of each wave, apply fire weakness. For those that play Overwatch, it's literally just Doomfist Ultimate. But even for those that don't play Overwatch, this Doomfist Ultimate visual is literally a 1-to-1 to Firefly's technique. As for what it actually does, its damage is okay, but the fire weakness is always nice since the normal skill doesn't apply it and only the enhanced skill does. For Firefly's bonus trace abilities, first we have Module Gamma Core Overload, which states when in an ultimate state, if the break effect is over 250% or 360%, ignore 30% or 40% of the enemy's defense respectively. So if the scaling on her enhanced skill didn't already convince you enough, break effect at least 250% is almost required for Firefly as it just does so much for her. But since she scales a good amount of attack, we can't ignore that either. So while a 360% break effect is ideal, I'm not so sure we can reach that easily. Second, we have Module Beta Auto-Reactive Armor, which states for every 100 attack over 2400, increase break effect by 6% up to 60%. Well, we can just go right ahead and forget what I just said just then. Well, not entirely, but yeah, this trace will help tremendously with a break effect breakpoints. But more than anything, what this reinforces is building a hybrid, as in building attack until 3400, then break effect. And finally, lastly, Module Alpha Anti-Lag Outburst states, well, in our ultimate state, reduce enemy toughness regardless of their element, but at 55% of the original amount. Not gonna lie, this feels like a major trace that Hoya might change later, since due to both Firefly's enhanced skill and technique being able to apply fire weakness, it does feel a bit redundant. So yeah, overall Firefly's kit is looking very strong and very fun. Without her talent, her kit would have been a bit cringe due to her extreme HP drain. But thankfully it exists, everything should be all good and will result in quite an interesting playstyle. As for her actual animations, let's just say in my dreams, I dreamt of Firefly only existing in Overworld, and in battle it's Sam and Power Up Sam. I was kinda wishing for Firefly to suit up into Sam in the actual battle, like her ultimate state is Sam but outside is Firefly, but overall it's not that bad, as it kinda makes sense due to Firefly's condition, and Sam's armor having a power up mode is pretty badass in and of itself. The numbers on her attacks as of now are pretty high, and with the fire weakness implant, Firefly should become a premier DPS in basically all contents. We have finally gotten a genuine fire DPS, and it's well worth the wait. And no, before I let you ask the question, Himiko is only going pure fiction and Topaz is a support.